everybody. Welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I am your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 47. I have a lot on this docket. Where the fuck do I begin? Okay, so I'm going to backtrack to a couple of things that have been just very overwhelming for my spirit in the news, in my life, just in my spirit in general. So I'm going to backtrack. So this is not obviously time-stamped, but this is still relevant. So Joe Biden, a few weeks ago, probably a month or two ago, was campaigning, as he is doing since he's running for president, right? He said a interesting, semi-offensive and insensitive comment about poor kids being just as smart as white kids. Now, here's the thing. Joe Biden has not been showing himself as a likable, cool guy that he was when he was the VP, right? When Obama was president, he was his VP. Something has changed. And I don't want to say, and I don't believe that Joe is racist. I don't think that he is racist. I don't feel like he has that in him. I just feel like he's a genuine guy. But I do think he is not in tune with his words and how effective and impactful they could be. He is in his 70s. He's a white man. And there is just a lack of sensitivity that he has when he speaks. When he said this comment, I knew what he was trying to say, okay? I knew what he was trying to say. He was trying to say that just because poor kids don't have the same access to resources and opportunities as white kids may have, right? And white kids could mean a plethora of things, right? It may not mean exactly white kids. It just means kids who have more access, right? Yes, it's more so white kids, but there are non-white kids who have access as well. There are Middle Easterners. There are even black kids, right? I just feel like oftentimes when we think of poor or when poor kids are said on TV, on a campaign trail, poor is typically associated with black. And we fail to realize there are white poor kids as well. So to say this comment verbatim that poor kids are just as smart as white kids gives the agenda and the narrative that white kids are not, there are no white kids who happen to be poor. Like, being poor and white people just could not ever coincide with each other. And that's fucking bullshit. Like, can we just talk about, trailer parks? There are plenty of white people who have white kids, right? Who are not financially stable, who are not wealthy at all, who may not have access to different resources, and to give the agenda and push the narrative that poor is and could not ever be associated with white kids is a problem. It's not problematic, because when we think of the word problematic, right? When I think of the word problematic means, oh, it's problem-ish, right? You know, Blackish, the show. It's problem-ish. No, bitch, this is a problem. This is the problem. You cannot say words and not understand the effect they have that may push a particular narrative in society. Oftentimes, when we say poor in the media, right? When we say poor in society, whoever they is, but there's a group of people named they who like to put this agenda upon black kids as if they're the only type of kids who could be poor, right? There are Asian poor kids. There are white poor kids, like I've said. There are Middle Eastern poor kids are everywhere of different color. Let's not paint the portrayal that poor is only associated with black kids. Now, he tries to, Joe Biden, he tries to, I want to play this clip. Let me see if I can play. I'm still trying to figure out how to add a clip from, anyway, that's not, I'll figure it out. But here, listen to this.
But think about it. Somehow, if you're poor, you cannot.
In the Hawkeye State.
Okay.
We have this notion that somehow, if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. But think about it. We think, no, we're going to dumb it down. They can do anything anybody else can do.
All right. So yeah, he tries to kind of make it good by saying, oh, poor kids are just as smart as white kids, as Asian kids, has this. Where in that little speech part did he say poor kids are just as smart as black kids? Huh? Where was that said, Joe Biden? Huh? Poor kids are just as smart as black kids. That was not said, right? There is this notion that society likes to keep and maintain somehow that poor is only associated with black kids. And that's not okay. That's not okay. So when he said this, it did make me cringe. It did make me wonder, what the fuck is this guy drinking every morning? Like, who is his PR team? Who is writing his... Where is Obama? Huh? Obama, where you at? Okay, Trey Songz voice. What is going on? I can't understand how he thought... Look, and I still don't believe he's racist, and I don't think he's racist. I just think oftentimes older white men, right, even though they may have experience with working closely with a black man, right, you know, even though they were a VP to a black president, older white men are still older white men. They still come from a time when they could say recklessly racist comments, recklessly culturally insensitive comments that they don't realize that this is actually hurtful. This is not okay to repeat this notion and to further support this narrative that poor can only be associated with black. Okay, so Joe Biden, no. I'm still weighing out my options for 2020. I was on board with Kamala Harris until this bitch came out with this whack ass student loan forgiveness plan of hers. Can we? I need a fucking drink. Okay, first of all, here's her fucking plan. Here's her plan. Her plan is to, if you have acquired a business after graduating, right, and you open that business within a struggling neighborhood, a financially struggling neighborhood, and have allowed for that business to run for a consecutive 3 years, then you could be forgiven on some loans, right? You could be forgiven on loans. Pretty much there was an asterisk to loans, as if maybe 25% of your loans. Mind you, a lot of people are out here, including myself, with at least $50K in loans. And never mind interest, bitch. Like, I'm not paying y'all back. Lock me up, please. Go ahead. I'll stay my ass in school until it's time. But like, it's like, no, I just feel like everything's a fucking scam. I'm so sick of this society. I want to come on here being super negative about like the world we live in, but shit, sometimes it just stinks. Like the fact that she thought it was okay to really, first of all, let me think of this whack ass plan, right? This whack ass student loan forgiveness plan to just only make it more impossible for anyone to even be possibly eligible. No one is, you know how difficult it is to, one, start a business, right? Let's not think about starting a business. Think about the money that you would need to have to start one, right? The credit that you would need to have acquire, the good credit that you would need to have acquired to get a business loan, to acquire a space, to maintain that for 3 years, oftentimes those without any student loan or heavy student loan still can't sustain a business. It is difficult as fuck. And never mind the expectation or the requirement to have that business only be done in a neighborhood that is financially struggling. Where in the world can we win? Kamala, like I was really initially on board. As you guys have heard in previous episodes of this podcast, I was really impressed with Kamala Harris. I felt like she was and I still think she is a strong candidate against Trump. And by strong, I mean she knows how to go at it. She's not a whimper. She's not going to fold under pressure. You know, she was a former prosecutor for many years. And so she has what it takes. But although I would love for Trump to be out of office, I don't want to just hurry up and vote for the next person who, yes, may have what it takes to beat Donald Trump. But what is your policy that is beneficial for those in particular who are marginalized, who are financially disenfranchised in this world? What's your effective plan? And I shouldn't even say effective behind plan. If it's a plan, it should automatically be effective, right? But unfortunately, we live in a society where all these politicians make these plans and make these these promises for us. And the fact that she really went out in public and thought this was a good plan to forgive debt and to let other people know this is her announcement. Nigga, what the, Go back into your room and try again. Go back into your room and try again. I'm not voting for you anymore. Lost my vote. Now here's the thing. I am quick to take a vote back. I'm still going to vote. I'm not one of those who don't believe in voting anymore. I understand the quickness to kind of take away your vote because your vote doesn't matter, your vote doesn't count. I get it, but then I'm still gonna vote. Like, I still feel like I should, right? All the talk that I make about politics, all the feelings I have living in society, the least I could do is vote for who I believe could best meet my needs and meet the needs of the average American, right? Not everyone in America, let's say it like this, most Americans do not have a strong financial standing, right? A lot of us are living from paycheck to paycheck, making ends meet, some more than others, right? But for the most part, there is not much of a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief when it comes to staying afloat. A lot of niggas out here are surviving. Okay, not thriving, are surviving. And that's just what it is. And I'm looking out for not just myself, but for the next man or woman who can be benefited off of whoever it takes the next seat as president. Now, this right here, this initiative by Kamala Harris, shows me, one, this is full of shit, right? Like, just naming it. But it shows me that she really don't know. Like, she really don't know and don't give a fuck. It's either or, right? Or both, right? But it's really about not caring what many Americans are going through, right? I thought she was more in tune because during the first election, she said something about how many people, like Donald Trump is saying that the economy is thriving since he's been in office, but it's only thriving for those who have stocks. But the average American doesn't have stocks. And she went in on that. I was like, bitch, you're right. Yeah, what's a stock? And I I sound dumb. I'm still learning to be more financially free, whatever the fuck that means. But I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, the bare minimum stock, right? Investment. A lot of people don't know what that is. A lot of people are still learning that and are not proficient in that at all. Never mind an expert. So when she gave that argument, I was like, wow, she gets it. There is hope. Not only is she a black woman, right? And of course, I'm attracted to that. Like, wow, someone who, shares a shade of my skin tone could possibly be the next president. Oh, and she's a woman too, so bang, bam, okay? That was something I was really for. But when I think about it, I don't want to vote for someone just because we may share the same skin tone and the same gender, right? Because you could still not have the right motives. You could still not have the right plan and the right intention. So instead, let me peel back and see, what else does your policy cover? What else are you standing for? And her fleshing out this student loan forgiveness plan is really a slap in the face. So boom, she doesn't have my vote. Next. Now, I know what I'm about to say may be a little controversial, because a lot of people think this person is a fluke. But I like Marianne Williamson. I like her. Okay, look, I get it. We're not going to be kumbayaing. We're not going to be, with dashikis on, living in perfect harmony. But wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a world that did? I'm kidding. Of course, yes, ideally, yes. But what I like about her presence and her way of being is breathtaking. Honestly, it takes my breath away to listen to someone on the campaign trail that she's on the debates that she's on, to stand there amongst many people who are about tangible things, many people who are about what's right in front of us. But a lot of people don't recognize the root of it all, right? Why is there such a strong hold on addiction in America? Why is there such a strong hold on gun violence in America? Let's go to the root of it. Let's talk about these pharmacies. Let's talk about the prescriptions that are sold to people, the man-made stuff that poisons our community. And a lot of people don't recognize that. Unfortunately, we live in a society where people like to, get the fast fix. Let me just microwave my food instead of cooking it. Let me get this fast food from Popeyes and eat it real quick. Instead of, let me learn what's going on with my body. Let me recognize, does my body react to this meal right or not? Let me understand, how can I not be reliant on the government and be reliant on myself? Like, how can we be more independent? And I feel like she gets to the root of things. She hits a spiritual side for me that I truly enjoy. I find it refreshing. And I feel like she won't win but then again, who knows? Look, Donald Trump is our president. Like, let's just have a moment of silence right now, because he's really in the fucking office. No. Did you hear me? He's really in the fucking office as president, has the sitting president. And that nigga is still there. Like, I don't know if it's security, and I don't wish violence on anybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy to me, the craziness of it all. But we live in America, right? Where democracy reigns, and that's a beautiful thing. I would rather live here than Korea. So I'm still trying to find a blessing in everything. But it's just interesting to me that people are so quick to just dismiss what Marianne Williamson says. They are quick to dismiss her points. But if you listen to her and you just Stop trying to be this, this bitch is crazy, this bitch is nuts, okay, whatever. And you really just listen to her, you cannot not understand. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me how people could just not understand her point, right? She talks about the lack of healthcare that is available, or the poor healthcare that is available, the minimum healthcare that is available, the minimum, like, she cares about the soul of America. And I think that's important too. I think it's important to care about the soul, and from that, build a policy, build a plan to also meet the tangible needs of Americans. Now, if she could flush out more of a concrete plan, and I'm sure she has, I just don't have it right in front of me. I feel like I heard she has. I feel like it, but I've heard more of her spiritual take on everything, and it makes sense. It makes sense to me, maybe because I'm more spiritual now, and it makes sense. But I just wish she would be given more of a fuck by y'all niggas. Can y'all niggas give her a fuck? Just one. Thank you. That's it. That's all I want. Give her a fuck. Okay, I just want to talk about those, those little things in the politics. One more thing before I move on to my personal shit. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein, he is a financier. Pretty much he makes his money off of doing foul shit in New York. That's what that means, financier. Looks like a Wall Street type of nigga, okay? White man in New York, making money off of blood, okay? Pretty much that's what it is. He was arrested in July of this year on charges of sex trafficking and just raping underage girls. At the end of the, that's what it was, right? And just earlier this month of August, he died by suicide. Well, he committed to that shit, right? And I'm laughing because I don't care for him. Like, I don't find, look, not all suicide is, let me not say that, but my point is, not every death will be a hit to everybody, right? Especially when you are someone who has preyed on young girls or young people in general. Now, with Jeffrey Epstein, his case is a little funky because he was part of like the big dick money in New York, okay? And he was not alone. I believe because there were many people in the upper echelon in this society of ours who was probably engaged in the same types of illegal, criminal, and heinous activity that he was engaged in, such as politicians, right? Judges, just high upper echelon people, priests, nigga. I'm not surprised, and I'm not to be a conspiracist, right? But I do recognize that I just wouldn't be living in the world where that couldn't be possible, especially in the world that we live in. A lot of shit happens that's funny style. Now, Jeffrey Epstein, I think because he knew so many people and worked with so many people who was in the same sex trafficking ring that he was a part of, he was a threat. And it should have been maximum security, right? That's what was the plan. But apparently that moment came for him to be available to go ahead and kill himself. And it was not I think it was a hit in a way that wow, he took his life. Wow. There's no justice for these girls who were victimized by him. And wow, what happens next? Does this just end? Like, I'm not sad that he took his life. I'm sad that this whole thing happened in general, but I'm more so sad because these girls don't have the final say. Like, he was in a holding cell. He wasn't facing life yet. He was still undergoing trial, and he was still in jail for that. But now, with the information that he possessed, where is that now, right? Where does that go, and how can that help serve the justice that these girls deserve from this ordeal that they had with him, right? What happens now? So I think it's just, when I heard that news that he died by suicide, I felt stumped, right? I felt like, okay, so now what? Now I felt speechless. What happens now? And I was upset more so because right now The View is on vacation, as they deserve. They served an amazing season this year, and I really enjoyed this season. Like, this whole season was amazing, with the whole Whoopi fiasco, her coming back, Meghan McCain's ass, Sunny, like, everybody on Abby being gone because she gave birth. I was happy for her ass. Like, everything a part of this season was amazing. So they very well deserved some time off for vacation. But during this vacation, that's when Epstein wanted to die by suicide. Like, nigga, you gonna do that afterwards? The fuck? Or do it before they went on vacation? I said it, yes. My point is, I love hearing them talk. And right now, it's just playing, their repeated episodes. But I hope that they do talk about it once they return in early September for the new season. And I want to know Sunny's take on this, since she is the lawyer on the set. I want to know what happens to this case now. Yes, he died by suicide, but what happens to the information that he may have already given to his legal team? What happens to that information? Does it move forward in the case, or did he reveal names? And so does that move forward in prosecuting those people who are very much alive? Like, I don't know. And now I don't even know if he died by suicide. I feel like everything was just funny in a conspiring type of way. I don't think he was completely innocent in just like, oh, I'm so depressed and I'm type of thing. Like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm going to kill myself type of thing. No, I think he was either pressured to either kill yourself or be killed type of thing. And being that the security system was not on its P's and Q's, okay, whatever that saying is, it definitely served my conspiracy even more, that he was probably killed or heavily pressured to kill himself. Either way, that nigga's dead, and now I want to know what happens to that case. What happens? What happens when someone dies by suicide and they were finally going to be held responsible for the heinous crimes they committed, but now they're dead? I mean, nothing could happen, right? Because he's dead. But being that he was a part of a sex trafficking ring, it wasn't just him. It'd be one thing if it was just him alone, right? But it's not like that. There are other people. There are many other people involved, and we don't know the names of. But being that he was a rich man, he acquired his money in a bloody type of way. I'm very sure that he was in cahoots with many motherfuckers who are of that same upper echelon. Okay, the same niggas who y'all praise, right? Whether it's on a religious front or a popular vote type of front, a politician, a celebrity. This world is fucked up. So it's really fucked up. And there's a lot of demonic spirits out there, and I want y'all to be careful. Anyways, let's move on. That's enough for hot topics. Let's talk about why people should not be concerned with how you spend your money and why the fuck people are concerned with that. Let's just ask the same question twice in two different ways, but it's the same fucking question. Why do people feel like they could tell you how to spend your money, right? Why do people feel like they have any right to the authority that you hold to your fucking bank account? And I'm saying this because people really have the audacity to pressure people into doing stuff, right, that costs money, right? So like, I think about going out with your colleagues, going out with your coworkers, and oh, we had a great week, or we survived this week. Let's go out. Let's have a happy hour. Let's go to the spot. And it's like, okay, thank you for the fellowship, but no, I don't want to go. The fuck? And then when you say no, right? No should just be enough. No, I can't make it. Or no, period, right? But then the receiving end then responds and be like, girl, are you serious? Why can't you come? You always don't want to come. Or, oh, you acting like you can't come. You can't hang out. It's just, what? I don't want to go. Do I need to explain my finance? Like, do I need to explain? You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. And I just find it so interesting that as I get older, okay, bring it to like just more of a personal growth type of thing. As I get older and I stand more in my voice and I recognize, hey, this is good for me and this is not. Or hey, this is where I want to be and this is where I don't want to be, right? I want to get to a place where I make the money doesn't make me, right? Players Club. Don't let the money make you, okay? But no, I want to get to a point where I'm not controlled by my money. I control my money. And, you know, I talked about the last episode, this devil-ass trip I was on with women who are just fucked up. But it just opened my eyes to why people are so miserable. Like, it opens my eyes to why the fuck do we live in a space where people are so concerned with what you do with your life, and why the boundaries that you put up for yourself is somehow offensive to other people. How do I have the boundary to hey, I'm only going to spend this amount this week, or hey, I'm only going to go out maybe twice this week, go out to eat twice this week, or whatever boundary you may have set for yourself and you don't even have to have, I mean, essentially we all have reasons behind our actions, right? Whether we're aware of it or not, but you don't even have to have a reason. How about no is the reason, right? I shouldn't have to explain, oh, because eventually I want to buy a home, or eventually I want to pay off this debt, or eventually I want to have enough saved in my account to just have that saved in my account, or flip it, or whatever it is. I shouldn't have. Why the fuck am I explaining myself? Like, that's what really boggles my mind. People really want an explanation for shit that you do in your fucking life. Why do you care that I'm not going out to happy hour again with you? Huh? We've already, like, what? Why are we going? I'm just trying to understand the audacity people have in feeling either offended or feeling like it's their right to want to know why, right? I was fucking, what was it? Or even, it's not even just with money either, right? It's with alcohol. Oh, alcohol is y'all niggas get me going. I'm so sick of people sometimes. The audacity some people have in thinking that, oh, why aren't you drinking? You should be drinking. Oh, you over here being corny because you're not drinking. Huh? I'm sorry, what? If I choose not to drink right here and right in this moment, that's my choice. I shouldn't even have to explain, oh, I'm not drinking because I'm on a, even if I was on a fucking detox, I don't fucking want to drink tonight. Even if it is the weekend, I still don't want to drink tonight. Like, you could have the choice to say no, and no be a complete sentence. I'm saying it again. You have the choice to say no, and no is the complete sentence. I'm so sick of people expecting more out of the no. And here's another thing I'm sick of. Look, I'm just getting this off my chest. It's been a minute. I miss y'all. What's up? What's good? No, I'm so sick of when... Okay, so recently I went home for the weekend, and it was what I needed. I wish I would have went home during the summer for like, just some time, but with the expenses that I was making, I just could not figure out a way to make that happen. And I wish I did, but I can't go back in time. It is what it is. But just recently I went home, and I had a good time. My spirit was filled. It was good being with my family. And there was just a peace within me that was just like increasing, just being with my family. And it was a good time, right? And it gave me the fuel that I needed to return back to Houston and do what I'm called to do, which is the damn thing. That's what it is. The damn thing. Okay? That's the damn thing. Oftentimes when I go home, right, and I post it, I'm not posting, hey everybody, I'm home, let's link up. It's not like I don't do that, but I don't go home with the thought of how many people can I hang out with a day. Like, I don't, hey, I'm just home, hey, if we happen to see each other, then we do, and it is what it is, cool, right? I just think it's funny that when I'm home, everybody wants to hang out with me. And it's like, okay, thank you, but when I was home on the regular, none of this energy was being received. Y'all niggas didn't give a fuck about me. I'm not saying I don't give a fuck about me, but there's some people in particular who I just find it so interesting that, just as recently, I went home and I didn't visit somebody, and it wasn't like I was like, I'm going to purposely not visit this person. It's just, I only have but so much time, and as much as I like to catch up with people, I really do enjoy that, don't get me wrong. I also like to just lay down and go to sleep. That's really fun too. I also like to just lay down and watch TV and be in my home and chill with my parents. That's it. If you come to my house, cool. But it takes a lot of energy to get dressed, get in the car, and mind you, it's either my dad is driving me because I don't have my car, obviously in Boston. My car is here, and like, I don't have that free withal to go ahead and go out. I mean, I could Uber, but anybody got time to do that when I'm at home, right? And so there's only but so much time. So not everyone who may expect or feel like they're required a visit from me gets that. And it's not on no ill intent. I swear to you, I don't care that. Like, it's not, I'm not waking up thinking, how can I not visit this person? I just don't care. Maybe that's still bad. But I just think it's interesting that there's this expectation to just see every single person every time I go. Like, I'll see you the next, like, there'll be other opportunities, God willing, of course, but there'll be other opportunities to do that. And it's just interesting to me that people get so butthurt when I couldn't make it, or it's just not within my, route, okay? Like, I typically always hang out with a particular cousin of mine every time I'm in town because I always hang out with this person. I always hang out with that cousin when I was regularly at home. Like, it was just always a thing. I always go over her house, we hang out, just key. And it's not on let's hang out by going out. It'll be, let's hang out by me coming over your house and chilling, watching TV with you. And it's not on no extra shit. Yet, when, I forgot where I was going with that. But my point is, when I'm not regularly scheduled in your hangout time, like when I don't regularly see you when I was at home, living regularly at home, it's just so interesting to me that people expect that energy to suddenly be given now when I visit home. Like, huh? Sir, ma'am, I'll see you when I can. I just don't like anyone feeling entitled to me. I just don't. Like, request, right? Ask, but don't feel entitled and don't get butthurt. Like, I don't have time to apologize or explain I just don't. I'm tired of explaining myself to people. Fuck a boss. Hello, people. So don't get me started on a boss. Like, I'm just so tired of motherfuckers expecting an explanation. But anyways, let me get back to the drinking thing. I think oftentimes, and I'm bringing this up because I was out at a happy hour time with some colleagues, right? And one person in particular wanted to, let's do shots. Let's go ahead and do shots. I'm just like, no, I don't want to do shots. Like, that's, no. The answer is no. Could you ask to, like, can I get, I don't know, maybe can I get some choice here? Could you ask if I'm okay with this shot that you have now demanded from all, like, I don't want to take a shot. Yeah, we're having a great time, kiki, and now you feel so enthused to go take a shot, right? There are so many people in my surroundings who don't have it like me. And by have it like me, that's not on no stunt shit. Like, I truly don't have it, but God willing, I have it, right? I'm just trying to say it. Like, I'm still doing my best. I'm living, I'm surviving, and God is good all the time. And yet, there are people around me who, live frivolously and spend their money however they so choose, and it seems as if there is a lack of budget from how some people around me spend their money, and that's totally fine. That's how they spend their money. But don't look at me in a way or speak to me in a way that is somewhat offensive to how I spend my money. Like, you don't live on your own. Like, there are people who are around me who live with their parents, and there's no shame in that. Like, okay, that's totally fine, but you live with your parents. So there is a certain amount of financial responsibility that you do not have that I have, and therefore I have to figure it out without you trying to, like, sit down with your tequila shot. The answer is no. And it's just ridiculous to me because we all walk in our own shoes. We all have our own responsibilities here in life, here in this moment especially. And so to expect or require people to be on the same wavelength as you, right? Especially even if we're enjoying ourselves, in fellowship and in Jubilee. I don't want a fucking shot. I don't want this tequila shot. No, because that's $15 I don't want to spend on a damn shot. The answer is no, right? And then I'm done. I'm not talking about this anymore. But I'm just like, I just find it so preposterous that there are people out there who really care about how you spend your money and how you decide to do certain things and decide to not, or how you choose to spend your time. If I don't want to go out, I don't have to explain myself. The answer is just no. I might catch you next time. How about that? All right? The answer just be no. The answer should just be no, but some people just feel like, what are you doing? Okay, relax. Anyways, I want to end off with this airport love I thought I had. I'm so funny. No. So a couple weeks ago, right? Oh, it was, I don't want to talk about that damn trip, but it was on my way back from that trip. And I happened to sit next to someone who was a black man. Stop. What the fuck? What kind of segue was that? But I happened to sit next to a black man, right? Okay, cool. I saw him earlier in line, and I don't know, cause I'm looking for black. My eyes look for black. I'm not looking for black man. I'm not looking, but my eyes see. Like, I see you. Okay, I see you, nigga. What's up? Hello. What's good, my brother? Like that, I see you. And so I saw him in the line, and I'm like, wouldn't it be so funny if we ended up sitting next to each other? Because as I was walking in the aircraft, I noticed I was getting closer and closer to his seat, and I'm like, oh, you're actually the person I'm sitting next to. You're actually the person I'm sitting next to, and that's what's happening. So I happened to sit next to him, and this white man come down, and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if he sit next to me? He happens to sit next to me. Bitch is just manifesting things. And this white brother, I felt, and I say brother because it looked like he was down for the swirl. What's good? But I'm not. At least not for his swirl. He was a ginger too. I mean, he was kind of cute, but no. Anyway, so he sat, so I'm literally sandwiched in between a nigga and a honky. Like, what's up? Just right in between them. And, eventually me and the black man started talking and conversing. Conversation was cool. He ended up talking. Mind you, I'm the type of person, as genuine as I am, because I really am. And I pride myself in being genuine. And I take great humility in that, because I think it's important for people to feel warmth and to feel like their voice matters and that is valued. And that's my intention every time I speak to people. I always try to do that. So I think that's amazing I think that's a gift, honestly. So I thank God for that. But I recognize that people like to take that in stride and feel like, oh, let's see how far we could go. Let's see if I could, get some. So he seemed cool enough. And he asked my number. I gave him my number. And it was a moment where I'm thinking, oh, wow, this could be a cute, like, oh, how did I meet your husband? How did you meet your husband type of thing? How did you meet your wife type of thing? We met on the airplane and, a cute moment, right? But here's the thing with me. I'm completely trash. Like, no. So I'm not trash, but I'm such a joke sometimes because I find an issue with something real quick and I can't shake it off. So when we talk on the phone, because he told me to call him, I'm like, let me call him. And I called him. He picks up the phone, and the voice that I heard on the other end of that phone, I felt like I was speaking to Steve Urkel. Mind you, this was not the same voice I heard when I was sitting next to him. And there was some similarities, and maybe it was the effect of the airplane. Sometimes you're on the airplane, your ears crack, right? They pop. You can't really hear. Nigga was doing the whole, we might as well have done sign language, because I didn't really hear him. For me to feel so different about how he sounded over the phone, nah, nigga, I didn't hear him. I must not have heard him, because the voice that I heard on the phone, bitch, baby girl, nigga, the answer is no. I'm not interested. He sounded so just awkward. He didn't sound like a nigga. I need a nigga. Give me a nigga. Give me. No. And that's not the voice I like. Look, I want my nigga to have a baritone. Okay, I want to feel like I'm being yelled at. It's like, not the yell that part, but you know what I mean. Like, give me that little aggression in your voice. You know, make me feel like, make my heart palpitate a little bit. Give me that energy, okay? And I didn't get that from him. Like, I felt like if we would have gotten in an argument, I would have laughed. Like, I felt like if this nigga would have tried to argue with me, I would have laughed in his face like, nigga, please, and hung up. As if a couple of niggas who I've argued with would sound like a nigga I will argue with. Like, okay, are you checking me or are you checking the fuck out of me? Okay? That nigga could not check me. And I'm not saying I want my nigga to check me, but you know, I kind of want my nigga to check me. Like, I just want a level of madness in my nigga's voice. And he didn't have that. And that shit I could not get with it. And as soon as I feel something is off, and as soon as my energy feels conflicted by something about you, I can't shake it. I can't. And there's something to that. I'm not going to settle my boundaries for the comfort of it or whatever it is. I'm not. If I'm uninterested, I'm uninterested. And the answer is no. Okay? So, after 2 conversations, and there were some things that he said in our conversations that really opened my eyes to the type of person he is. I just don't like when people always talk about money. I don't like when people, and he was talking about money in this sense. It's one thing to talk about money like, I'm so grateful, you know, God has blessed me with this opportunity and I'm able to provide for my loved ones and myself, you know, in that type of sense. But he was talking about money like, I gotta make this money. You know, I moved out here to make this money. He moved away from his daughter who lives in Florida, and he's now in Seattle. And we connected because I was like, oh my gosh, my favorite movie is Sleepless in Seattle. And he's like, oh, I know that movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, he knows that movie. Like, this is something, right? But I love that fucking movie. Ever since I was a kid. I'm over here talking about Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. A black little girl who's 10 years old talking about Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. That's how much I love that movie, okay? To this day. But I think it's just interesting that he was so focused on money and how he was saying how in his previous relationships he would not spend time or too much quality time with his girlfriend because he would miss out on money. And look, the nigga is a truck driver, and this is no shame. Look, make your money how you can. We live in a fucked up world where, you know, you got to go through different avenues to acquire wealth or some type of substantial substance at all, right? And here's the thing. Not to sound bougie. I'm probably going to sound bougie, but what the fuck? I don't care. I'm bougie. I don't want to talk to someone who's a truck driver. Like, I don't care. Like, you talk about all this money that you're making, your truck. I just don't feel like, and maybe I'm ignorant to it. I probably am. But I also recognize that I don't see it as a real job. What's a truck driver? Like, I don't know. I sound so fucking weird. No, but my thing is, the way he was talking about the money he was making was like, but you talk about hourly though? Like, I don't want to talk to anybody who doesn't have a salary wage. Right? Like, what? You talk about how much you get paid an hour? What does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means anymore. So there was just too much money talk. It was too much money talk too soon, and money was like his main thing in life only. And it's like, okay, I get money matters, I get it, but I also feel like there's a lot of things that do matter as well that's much more substantial than money, because money really ain't shit, but it is the shit in this world. So there was that. He talked about his previous relationship that was 3 years ago, and how she cheated on him. And I understand. I I get it. I get why she would cheat on him, because if I had to listen to that voice any longer, a bitch will be cheating right now. Hello? I can't make it tonight. I'm with my other nigga. What? This nigga was so unattractive over the phone. I don't understand why you think you could talk. Why do you think you could even talk with that voice? Huh? Sir, your voice. Fix it. Okay? It was just, so he was saying how she cheated on him. This was a 3-year ago stint. Like, this happened 3 years ago, okay? I'm not saying you can't heal, you can't still talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, why are we talking about this, right? So, this happened 3 years ago, and he felt like it was okay to tell me and talk about her in a disrespectful manner. He was like, yeah, that bitch. Like, he just started, like, going in. I'm just like, oh, my gosh, nigga. Go get Iyanla and please get fixed. Go get Iyanla and get fixed, because I don't have time to soothe you while you call another woman a bitch. I don't care how she did you wrong. Nigga, okay, she cheated. What now? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Anyways, are you done? Like, I just don't care. I don't fucking care. But most, his voice was unattractive as fuck, and I was not going to settle for it. Okay? I'm sure he would have been on the next plane down to see me. I'm sure he would have been on the, like, he nigga was like interested already. Appreciate it, but the answer is no. And that's all for now, folks. Thank you for tuning in. I am done for today. Peace and good love. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud, and also leave a comment. God bless.